I specifically got it to recruit like the people that hate you, and even then you still have to do a mission for them, which kind of makes sense.
No.
Okay, first you have to do the deep profile mission, and then you have to do the actual mission.
Yeah, but you can do the actual mission. You can actually replace it with a deep profile thing as well.
Nice. The deep profile things are kind of easy.
Yeah.
Looking for dead sec?
Well, it depends. Sometimes because those locations are quite randomized, and sometimes you kind of get fucked over. I had a couple where it was quite obvious that it was in a place that you kind of needed to have some more skills to get into. Like you needed some more tech.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
Like
most of the ones.
missions, obviously they're kind of balanced to around what the game kind of expects you to have, but the really randomized locations you can kind of get fucked over.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry to hear about that.
What I like about it is like I mostly, as long as I'm not in a permadeath save file, then I get like locations like, hey, yeah, there's a hitman at this place at this time. I'm like, okay, or do this drive with this cargo, and I'm like, okay.
Sounds serious.
And like I just, that's how I got like at some point I like one guy every 5 minutes, which with the normal missions of them, like I wouldn't be able to get that.
Yeah.
So I have my next mission here soon enough. Reach the walkie-talkie club.
Interesting name.
The walkie-talkie club of mind games. What the fuck?
Here's a shocking turn. There are no public records for Albion's realignment center.
No kidding.
However, the building plans show
I
the
also,
ticket can be
I've already
accessed via the
told you, obviously, I went on a quite a bit of a shopping spree when it comes to DCS. I've basically bought everything that I ever wanted to buy, just to make sure that, you know what, I want to keep playing this game. I want to keep making videos. I want every option out there to be available to me. If I've got an idea for a video, I don't want to be like limited to what my wallet will allow me to do. And I had a kind of an overflux of money this month. I was like, yeah, sure, why the fuck not? You know what? I'll buy it. So I bought, I think, at least 3 things. Initially, I bought the new Vegas map, the Las Vegas and so on. I bought the F-16 Viper, which was at a whole $70 immediately. The Las Vegas map was like $40. And then the Syria map, the one that just came out, that was like $30. That was quite a lot of money just right off the get-go, and after that they hit me with the sale. God damn it. But because they had the sale, and I kind of got, like I said, an overflux of money because of my birthday coming up and all that. I was like, you know what, I'm gonna use this sale anyway, because what the game developers allow you to do is, if you have the own if you've got the standalone version and you buy it off of their website as opposed to Steam, not only do you get more discounts, you also accumulate something that's called ED, Eagle Dynamics Miles. So for every basically for every bit of money you spend on the game, you get a certain amount of that back as like miles, which you can then translate back into money, which is kind of nice. So I think if you spend like $70, then the game will give you like 7,000 points, which accumulates to $7. So for your next purchase, that's $7 off immediately. And I had accumulated a lot of those points in my initial shopping spree, obviously, because I spent all that money. It's like, wait a second, I can reuse this. So then I basically bought a couple of other things on top of that, just to make sure that everything I wanted to have, I've got. So I've got pretty much every single map you could have. I bought the Viper. I've got the A-10 now, which is like the really weird, funky looking aircraft with the 2-round engine that look like Mickey Mouse ears. And it's famous for its main gun that goes... You see all those billion memes of it. It's hilarious. And it's really cool to fly as well. I think it just became my favorite aircraft. On top of that, I've got a helicopter as well, because it's something different. And on top of that, I've got another plane, which is the Harrier. Now, you won't know this thing by name, but it's basically the Hydra from GTA. That's the aircraft that the Hydra is based off. It's like the VTOL thing, which obviously in DCS, that it can do that as well, which is nice, because that's the only module out of all of these that actually hits its 50% discount. So that's a model that was already like $70. It hit its 50% discount, so that went then 35. And then I basically slapped my ED miles on there, which was basically like at that moment was like $13 right off, because I already used some of them for another thing. So that's about $13 off. So that brought the price down even more. And on top of that, I actually bought it with PayPal, on which I also still had some money left. So I ended up getting a $70 module for like $5,
Well
which
then.
was an absolute steal. For a moment, I decided I was thinking on the idea I could also get the second F14 module, so that we could listen to the videos and the streams together and so on. But obviously, that thing was still at full price, and that still probably would have cost me about $50 to $40 on top of probably another map still. So that would have brought the price up even more. So in the end, I was like, yeah, I'll wait.
Yeah, but I'm
I know that you're not gonna really play it unless you're doing a video or a stream with me. So like, it's probably not gonna be used a lot. So I wanna get it for you, but I don't want to pay full price because it's expensive for something that's really not going to be used very often.
yeah, and also because like I play a lot of other games at the same time as well.
Yeah, so it's going to be difficult to find the right amount of time for this. So we might as well wait until one obviously is we have to wait until the prices get down, which happens pretty often. When ED released like a big new module, they basically hit everything with like a 50% discount. They did this one specifically for Halloween. I'm pretty much riding on the fact that there's probably going to be a Christmas sale, and it's probably going to be bigger and better than this one. So I'm kind of hoping on that.
We can't allow Albion to continue with this operation.
So we'll kind of see. And on top of that, we need to kind of find a good time window for both of us. Like, when can we expect to really start recording these things? It's just gonna come down to obviously how much schoolwork I need to do, how much schoolwork you need to do, how much videos you need to do and streams you need to do. Because I don't want this to get in the way of either of our work.
Yeah.
We've got plenty of things to do. And because obviously I can make videos on my own anyway. It's a little bit more difficult, but it's fine. I've also, by the way, this is going to come up in like a future video, because I haven't made like any concrete plans on what I'm going to do with it, but I've been preparing some of those aircraft liveries. I've made new ones for the Osiris Squadron, so which I'm going to model off of obviously the story. So right now the ones are basically like a blank slate that are supposed to represent the aircraft as they are in like the opening stages of the story as when I start writing it again. So the Scarab logo has actually been removed from all of them, but on top of that, each and every single aircraft in our squadron has their own skin now. So there's not going to be one skin on every single one of them. They all have their own one, with like their own names on it and all that.
Ah.
So we've got Osiris 2, which is us, and then we've got Osiris 1, which is Andalea and the Colonel, which it's got their names on it. They have their own plane captain that's on there. Actually, I put an Amy into the story, just for shits and giggles. I think we need an Amy. Technically, we've got one. We've got our Sophia/Amy in the form of Andalea. But this is kind of like a secondary throwback character. It's kind of just like there hidden as like an inside joke, and it's so much inside joke that I've literally combined Amy and Sophia, and I've called her Amy White. Basically taking Amy's name and then a play on Sophia's last name, because she was Sophia Whiteheart.
Yeah. Or white in some cases.
Or white in some cases. So I've mixed them together.
City of London is under Riddle's control. AKA one of the things that you don't want.
Exactly. It's going to get even worse now.
Yeah.
Beautiful. They'll have to shut down that clinic now. No one will have to go through what my mate did again. We're with you in this fight, DedSec. Albion are going to get the short end around here
my
from
sister's
now on.
being.
Bugger me. We owe ya.
So
Looks like
late on the
Dead
draw
Sec
here. It's
has
been my
sealed it.
birthday for
I'd be
1.5
well chuffed to spread the
hours,
word
and now
about
she's
that.
finally hit me with the
Thanks again.
congratulations.
Has Daryl messaged you?
Just like that, Albion has been
No,
eliminated from this borough.
not really. I'm
Well,
kind of
maybe not
expecting him
totally,
to
but at
either be
least he's
asleep
shown
or get.
everyone around
If
here
he's
how
going
to
to, I'll
wipe up
probably
the
expect it to be
Well done.
do it tomorrow because he's offline.
Yeah, no, I actually told him that like a couple of minutes before it was your birthday.
No, yeah, well, because obviously it is pretty late, so I'm gonna expect because he is offline. I'm expecting him to just have gone to bed.
Yeah,
Which is fine.
he was playing fucking
I'm happy
what is
another
it called
person
again?
has woken up and wants to do the right thing.
Brilliant.
Oh,
I'm
good
not ready
grief.
to go to pasture yet. Let's get to it.
Well, that's a
Fantastic.
helmet and a half.
Okay then. What character?
Oh, that's the beekeeper. It's actually their outfit. Yeah, that's the character that you get from the London Liberation thing.
Oh,
I
okay.
remember that look from like the little icon. I didn't expect her to actually look like that though. Because she looks fucking ridiculous.
Yep. Neutralize VIP. And you're an auto, so I can just steal you. Thank you very much.
I kind of like the outfit, but also kind of don't.
I like the outfit, I don't like the headpiece.
And I've got it the other way around. I hate the outfit, but I like the headpiece. I like the glowy thing. But then again, there are some really cool outfits, but most of that is on the you can find on the store. Because those special operatives, they look cool as shit. And then there's the special like outfits you can buy that are absolutely phenomenal. But of course, there's no way you can get that.
Useful.
I also, I keep getting like pop-ups saying that you can find masks around the city. I've not found a single one of them.
Challenge completed. I literally just turned on that specific fucking trap and he walked into it, causing my mission to be done.
Seems that
Well,
manky
that's
little
easy.
nerd was the one who kept diverting relief supplies away from the borough to keep everyone in line for Albion. These days, you can do a lot more evil with a spreadsheet than a drone fleet.
Oh, wonderful.
Well, back into my car and I have collect evidence, but yeah, no, you can actually find masks. If you look very closely on the map, you can find audio logs, maps, masks, text files.
Okay, so that's the icon I'm looking for. Is there any kind of way to kind of identify what the mask look like before you get it? Or is it just random?
No, I think random.
God damn it.
Rescue freedom fighter. That means I need to start from the high school here. Oh, by the way, I've actually also been getting into Phasmophobia.
A lot of people play that. It's almost got some fucking Among Us status.
Yeah, but we think it dies down after fucking Halloween.
Yeah, because everyone's into the spooky shit right now.
Yeah. Besides that, it is a fun game, honestly, because you can just play it with friends. Like this is not like, okay, sure, it is big with streamers, but it is not big with streamers that just play with randoms. Like it's not like you with 9 random people. Like fuck that. That's what I hate about Among Us.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had a lot of people, invite me to Among Us games. People that I know, and like I really want to get it because it kind of looks like it can be a lot of fun, but really only with people that you know.
Yeah, like a lot of people.
Honestly, I'm never really convinced that I can get that many people around. Like I can if I get Among Us, I can already think of at least 2-3 people that I can get immediately. But you really need more people to play Among Us, and I really don't want to play with randos.
No, but like,
Especially not in a game where voice is basically mandatory.
Yep.
But if I see like the Yogscast videos or other channels as well,
Oh, I don't
it
even
does
watch
look like a
Yogscast
lot of
ones.
fun.
I don't even watch Yogscast ones. I watched like one of them, but it's honestly like, it's like everyone screams to each other. It like TTT is a lot better in my opinion.
That's the thing. I'm pretty sure. I'm not sure which episodes you watched of the Yogscast because the first few they kind of fucked up.
Yeah, that's the one that I watched. But I've seen a lot of people play it, and it's like,
Because that's the one thing that I kind of really like about Among Us is that you're supposed to not talk to each other at all unless you're in a meeting. So for the majority of the game, it's dead silent. The only people you actually hear, the way they do it in the Yogscast is you only follow one person, and then you switch to another, and then you see their perspective, but you never hear the other ones talk. It's only just the one. But then when the meeting is called, that's when everyone throws their suspicions together, and you get those really funny conversations. And after that, it's dead silence again. So you don't even know at the end of the meeting if you killed the right person or not. Which is, that's the kind of shit I kind of like, because you can get into some pretty funny scenarios right there. But what the Yogscast did initially is they just kept talking throughout the game, which is kind of not the point.
No, I eventually watched like a stream of them play it, where they did a whole muting thing. But even then, I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, it's not everyone's kind of type of game. It's kind of initially I was kind of against it as well because I just thought that it was some sort of a cheap TTT knockoff that wouldn't really catch on. Just everyone's kind of hyping it up, but probably because it was cheap. Then I kind of go, because I do watch the Yogscast on a daily, so whenever their videos came up, I did end up watching them because out of sheer boredom. That kind of grew on me a bit. It's not ever going to be my favorite game. I mean, I haven't even bought it yet, and it's just $4, right? I haven't even bought it yet, so that's how much I really like the game. But I don't necessarily hate it. I just don't really have people to play it with, so I don't really buy it. And the one or two people that keep urging me to buy it, yeah, I'm not gonna. I like them, but I don't want to spend $4 for them. I mean, it's literally just $4, and even then, I don't care. So yeah.
Yeah, no, like for me,
I'm not difficult with spending money, but when I think that $4 is a bit too much, that's saying something.
When you can literally play the game for free on your fucking phone.
Yeah, but honestly, I'd rather die than play a game on my phone.
Well, yeah, same.
My phone, because it is kind of old by now. It's a bit laggy, and the screen is a bit smaller. It's not small, but it's a little bit too small to play a video game on it, which I don't really mind because I never play video games on my phone anyway. That's probably why I bought it, because it was kind of cheap, because the screen was smaller than the normal phone, which is fine for me because I don't care anyway. But yeah. And also, my phone specifically has a pretty shitty battery, but that's just because of its age. Obviously, the longer a battery goes, the shittier it becomes. So whenever I play a video game, I can already count. I can play one round of Among Us, and I'll drop by 20%.
And I feel that.
Because I usually only play games on my phone if I'm either on the bus or at school, bored to shit. Yeah, I'm gonna need my phone the rest of the day. So if I start the day by playing a stupid video game and I drop 20% and I still have like 8 hours of school to go, my phone won't last. That's dead giveaway. It won't last. I already have difficulty with it because I've got my Bluetooth headset and my unlimited data plan, which basically means I get into the bus, which is like an hour's worth of travel. I turn my Bluetooth on, which is already demanding on the phone. And on top of that, I just browse through the internet on YouTube, which is definitely difficult for the battery. And combine those two things together, and yeah, it's not great.
True.
I mean, it's a really cool experience because you can just sit, you basically just get into the bus and you start browsing YouTube without worrying about how much money you're spending because it's free. I don't have to worry about internet at all on my phone, which is amazing. Everywhere I go, everywhere I need to be, turn my phone on, internet, YouTube, download something, it's all good. Don't need to worry about anything. Because I've definitely had like a very cheap phone plan initially, like a couple of years ago, where you've got like a whole 4 gigabytes and you're like, okay, I really want to watch this video, listen to this song, but I need to be careful with my internet. And you just or you're going around searching for fucking free Wi-Fi hotspots or whatever. Don't need to worry about any of that anymore, which is so liberating because I fucking hate that. I'd go days without even having internet on my phone just because I couldn't be fucking bothered to look for fucking Wi-Fi. Or whenever you go to school and you turn up the school Wi-Fi and it's slow as shit. You'd rather not have internet at all. It's just such an awful experience.
Yep.
Yeah, no, this is definitely liberating. I mean, I paid a fucking jackpot for it as well. It's like $40 a month. It's definitely not cheap, but something I'm worth, something I'm okay with paying for, I suppose. I think I kind of got scammed as well with this current subscription for my card, because I'm paying like $40. This is without the cost for the phone in general. This is just like the free data, the unlimited data plan. I already looked up when my subscription ends, which is in December. I'm going to be getting a new phone, which is you're paying for a new phone. This is included in the price, and you get your unlimited data plan, and it's going to cost me about $30. What? Hold up. Where the fuck is all this money going that I'm spending now? I've got my data plan. I'm not even paying for the phone. This is just the entire data plan, which is $40, which is ridiculous. I can get the same thing for less, and I get a free phone on top of it. That's better than the one I have.
Well then.
Well, sign me right up. The only thing I need to do now is wait until December until the contract expires, because otherwise you need to pay extra if you want to terminate it ahead of time. So I'm just biding my time.
Congratulations, you're the chosen one.
Which is also kind of nice, because I've been struggling with getting a decent webcam as well. And when I get a new phone, that means that my current phone is basically going to turn into a pretty expensive webcam. That's what it's going to end up being, probably.
Received. Watching for suspect.
Because now it's kind of annoying when you're in like an online class. I need to use my phone as the webcam, which means that I can't actually use my phone for the entire day. Because it's on the stand as a webcam, I can't touch it, because otherwise my teachers are going to get autistic and say, "Oh, you need to turn the webcam on." At the moment that your webcam turns off, all of my teachers kind of go berserk, which is annoying because everyone else I know that are doing like online classes barely ever have to turn the webcam on at all. It's just really my school that does it, which pisses me off.
Well, might just not be your school, might also be just your course.
I mean, I don't really talk to people on other courses, so it could be, but I don't know. The only thing I've heard is that from 16 November onwards, most of my classes are going to be online, which is kind of depressing.
How did this happen to you? Ow. Whoops.
I mean, it's kind of a benefit and a curse, because initially I didn't want to go have online classes, because I kind of liked going to school. Going to school, talking to your friends and so on. Because the last course that I had a lot of friends there. I had a lot of fun there. But this year, not really. I don't really talk to anyone during the class or during the break or whatever. This is literally, I go to school, walk into the classroom, sit by myself for hours. Then, have a break, walk away, sit by myself again, go back in class, sit by myself again, don't talk to anyone. Because no one really talks to anyone. And the few people that do talk to people, they're like the small 16-year-olds who really only talk about Fortnite all day. I'd rather sit on my own.
I feel that.
So it's really not as exciting anymore. There have been days that I woke up with the feeling of I don't want to go to school today, which is really sad, because I've never had that in the last course. I didn't expect it to have that kind of feeling again, because I really like the course that I'm doing. But I just know that every morning I wake up and I'm going to be bored to shit the entire day. Like the stuff that you're learning, that's exciting. But for the majority of the day, you're just sitting there by yourself doing your work, feeling like a robot.
Yeah,
and that's not exactly exciting, because most of the teachers that I have aren't really exciting people as well. They just stand there to tell you what to do, and then you don't hear or see them the rest of the hour.
Wow.
It's kind of annoying. There's a couple of ones that are the exact opposite. That whenever they start talking, they just soak up your attention for like 2 hours straight, and then by the time they're done, it felt like just like 5 minutes went past. So it was that fun. There's this one guy that basically his entire class is about the history of video. So we started out as where did video originate from, and he gave us like his ideas and his belief, and then told us to go and research this on our own during the class and at home. We need to kind of identify who the inventor of the video camera was, because that's actually never really officially declared. No one really knows who the official inventor was. It's just a whole bunch of people claiming that they were the one. So we need to go and identify which one actually did it. Which do we think actually did it? And it's kind of been the same for other subjects as well. And now we've gone to different video techniques and when they were invented and why. And we've started to get into propaganda or commercial videos, because they're always kind of filmed in a certain way.
Propaganda / commercial. Well, commercials are apparently propaganda.
Yeah, it is literally the same thing, because propaganda is basically text or video shot in such a way to make you believe that that is what you want. The same goes for commercials. They're always made in such a way to make you want to buy whatever they're trying to sell. And funny enough, the first time that this was actually used en masse was, well, there was a group of people some time ago called the Nazis. I'm pretty sure you've heard of them.
No, I haven't.
They were really good at filming propaganda. They really, they didn't invent it, but they basically brought it up to another level and brought a lot of techniques in that are still being used. As a matter of fact, the whole conversation went, this guy started talking about the Nazis in general. And he brought it up and said, so when the Nazis came to power, the first thing that they did is they enacted a whole bunch of laws to make sure that made sure that they were going to remain in power. Because that's what corruption is like. And in a similar way, our own government basically enacted a law yesterday, which is basically the same thing. So just in the middle of class, he basically compares our own government to the Nazis as if it's the most natural thing to say. And I lost my shit. Wow. I'm a pretty political person sometimes, and I make similar comparisons, and that people always say I'm an idiot. So to have your own teacher say something as well, really serious, might I add, kind of confirms that maybe I wasn't talking shit the entire time. Thank God.
No, you were just talking shit half of the time.
Yeah, exactly. Just the other half of the shit I say, that's the stupid shit.
So I need to... Why? What the okay, sure.
Anyway, I'm gonna hop into DCS. I want to get my fly on. The one good thing about one of the modules that I bought is the A10, the weird looking plane. That's probably going to be the next one which I do a video with, because the next F14 Osiris Squad video that I'm gonna do, I really want to make sure that it fits with the story. The first one was kind of just like a test to see how well I could kind of put it off, and the next one is basically going to be an actual quote unquote story trailer type of deal. But because I haven't started on it yet, I kind of want to wait with the next F14 video. So the A10 is probably going to be the next thing, because I've really fallen in love with it. But the A10, you can buy the thing in 3 different versions in DCS. The first one is $10, and you get the basic low detail flight model. Kind of similar to the starter plane that you get. You get your plane. But in order to fly it, you need to learn 1,000,001 keyboard hotkeys. You don't actually have to. You can't actually interact with any of the buttons in the cockpit. And obviously the graphics are a little less detailed than the more high fidelity models. And then there's the A10C. You've got the A version and the A10C version. The C is $50, and that's basically what the main release high fidelity A10 model was, but they recently upgraded that to the A10C2 model, and basically what they did is they basically put a whole bunch of more weapon systems in. They upgraded the graphics again, and for the people that already owned the original high fidelity model, you can upgrade to the new release version for $10, which is a steal, because if you have to buy it standalone, it's still $70. So that's a pretty nice deal right there.
Yeah.
But let's see, there's this other thing that I bought, the helicopter, the KA-50. It's the Black Shark 2, and they've already said that there's going to be a similar sort of upgrade for that thing later down the line as well. Meaning that, hold on a second, they're probably going to do something pretty similar to what they just did, where if you've got the original module, you can get this the upgrade for like $10, which is nice because I just got the original module for like $10, meaning that I get the high fidelity helicopter for like $20 in total. And it's probably going to release officially for 70. There we go. Easy. Only thing I need to do now is wait for the actual update to come out, which they're still working on, but they're kind of being secretive about. They haven't really said specifically what they're going to put in. But we all know that they're working on it because they officially announced it, and they've already given us like a free little update for it. It's like they revamped the cockpit graphics to make them look less like a 2D piece of shit model and more like what you'd want and expect, like an actual 3D render of an actual cockpit, which looks really cool. And they already actually released that as a free upgrade. But this is without all the different technology, weapon systems, and the exterior graphics and so on. Those are probably gonna come in the actual release. But this is kind of nice, because it's kind of painful that you have to admit that when a company does the bare minimum consumer-friendly things, and you get really excited about it, that's when you know that you've been playing too many EA games. Because EA is the exact opposite. They don't give a fuck about you at all. So when another company shows that they kind of care, it's nice. It's really nice. I really like, by the way, that our country's finally stepping up against EA. Thank God. Took them a while.
Yep.
I mean, they've been allegedly investigating them for a while now, and nothing ever came of it. And to be honest, I kind of lost hope. Then suddenly, obviously, they kind of started going out on it again, and now suddenly, finally, loot boxes are literally declared as gambling in the Netherlands, which is probably going to end up being a little bit more of a downside than a help, because we all know that EA, they're still gonna put them into every single game that they have. But in our case, they're going to have to remove them. So I know what EA is gonna do. They're going to remove them, but they're not going to add anything that's going to be like a supplement to it. So all the stuff that you can get from loot boxes, that's banned in our country now as well. I know EA, they're going to be very fucking shady like that, because that's what they've done in like Belgium and other countries. There's a lot of shit that you can only get via loot boxes, but you can kiss your ass goodbye to that as well. Like, they're not gonna implement a way that you can earn it in game. No.
You know, fucking Counter-Strike, CS:GO, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they've actually already done that in the Netherlands here. We were not able to actually get loot boxes or the shit from them anymore.
Yeah.
Well, you can get them if you buy them from the Steam store, but that's all. Like, you can buy the skins that other people are selling, but that's it. You can't open up the loot boxes.
Yeah, but EA is gonna, and they're doing this on purpose. I know it, because they're basically going to paint themselves as the victim, and they've already tried to. I've forgotten exactly what kind of bullshit excuse they used this time, but it was something ridiculous, where they're basically abusing the system, and they're blatantly trying to fuck over their consumers for every bit of money that they have, and then when they're called out on it, they try to act as if they're the ones being the victim here. That's just the EA way.
Yep.
But the thing is that on terms of loot boxes, it's really never going to change unless the majority of their consumer base can't use them anymore. When so many countries start banning them, where the majority of their player base can't use them anymore, that's probably when they'll try to come up with something else. But luckily, thank fuck for that, there is not a single EA game that's going to come out or has come out that I'm remotely interested in. So I'm not really, hurt by this at all. In the slightest. I don't really give a fuck left or right.
I give a fuck in such a way that I'm like, ha, deserved.
Yeah. The one thing that I kind of did, kind of have a chuckle at is when people were like, yeah, they got a $10 million fine. I'm like, yeah, listen. 10 million might sound like a lot for us, but for EA, that's pittance. They're not hurt by that at all. Trust me. They don't care. That 10 million, they probably got toilet paper in their fucking headquarters that's more than 10 million bucks.
Yep, sadly enough, indeed.
This is $1 billion company. They don't give a fuck whatsoever. This is like me in Elite Dangerous. When you hit by a 10 million fine, like, fuck that.
Oh, I need to watch out where the fuck I walk down here with the spider.
The spider bot can't swim apparently.
Nope. I know it's not even that much water. Then again, it is electronics, so.
I mean, you kind of expect them to have waterproofed it. What kind of shitty spider is there? They can't even walk up walls. It dies immediately on impact with water. What kind of shitty spider drone is that? They could buy that off of AliExpress or some shit.
Yeah, probably. Ah, for fuck's sake, it didn't jump.
It really was like a centimeter of water there, wasn't it? It's like, what the fuck?
No, there was water there.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot.
Oh, no. Because, like, so I have two areas after this that I can easily get, which is, Islington and Hackney and Tower Hamlets. Apart from that, I only need the 9 Elms, and then I have every area literally as mine. Did you, by the way, expect that I already have almost every area just completed?
Honestly, I kind of did because it's pretty easy to get the areas.
I lost a little bit of progress as well earlier.
Yeah, the thing is about those areas is where if you just walk around in the open world and you start kind of doing shit all willy-nilly, you kind of just accidentally help the area and you're like, oh shit. I didn't know that helps. You kind of just stumble into these things and like, oh, well,
hey, job done. Now I can GTFO.
Best guess? That laptop was stolen from Albion. Data on it outlines Albion plans to withhold much-needed supplies from this borough. If people are worried about where their next meal is coming from, they don't worry so much about eating the occasional Albion Grand Knuckle sandwich.
I would have been stupid.
Damn.
Mission start. Driven to distraction. I'm fast traveling to Old Street so I can do this mission. I'm not instantly doing that one. I'm doing the one from the other area first.
Yeah.
Meet with DedSec informant.
Yes, sir. Can you tell me what a DedSec is? I see. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's in your pants, and that's an alive one, and if we hit it, it's going to be dead.
Now you've got a DedSec, yeah.
Yep. After you get a nut, how'd you call that? If you get punched in the nuts, how was it called again?
You've been looking for DedSec, yes? Oh, there you
God
are,
damn.
dear. It's just lovely what you've done for
I
the
got so
neighborhood.
many of these.
Those
I
Albert
basically
thugs
got
are becoming a
traumatized by them, so I probably should remember.
Of course, now they've got their
Not shot.
hand
There we
up.
go.
They're
Yeah,
ready to
those.
strike
Like,
back against
practically, when you
the
get that, you have a
What do you
DedSec.
mean? A group
Basically
of
got
us have
one
taken
every
the
day of
initiative to
my
help the
Pharrell
community.
days.
Yeah,
And
with
given
Mel's
the
and such
current
from the second year on
environment,
out.
We've had to do it quietly, you understand? Under
I
Albion
never know
noses.
how he could
Sounds
so
like you
easily
share
do
dead
it.
sex attitude about the
Because
feds
whenever
and what
I
real
got the slight
justice is.
idea of wanting to
Let's
get
just
revenge,
say
I
you
was like, no, wait a
inspired us
second,
and
that'll
leave
mean I
it
have
at
to
that.
touch his balls. No thanks.
Now, I found out that Albion
Yeah.
is planning a series
Even
of
with my
raids
foot,
in
like,
Hack.
yes, no
We
thanks.
can't survive that. Unless you help
I'm not
us.
getting my
If
hand
you can
anywhere near
intercept
his
them
crotch, okay?
before
Thank you.
then, we'll have
Yeah,
time
no,
to
let's
move
not.
our operation somewhere safer. I got my hands on a little device.
Man,
that
I
will
got
allow
fucking
you to
nutshots
zip
all the
around
time
borough
in
quick as you
Bro.
please.
I even
Be
just
a
got
dear
kicked in the
and
balls by
handle
just
this for
this
me, would
random
you?
girl. I didn't.
Okay,
I
I'm on
did
it.
know her, but I never once talked to her. She just walks by me and just decides to kick me in the nuts.
Well then.
I mean, I fucking absolutely despise the girl, but I never actually talked to her. It's like, how the fuck?
So I need to go up here. Is there any special thing to this place? No, right? Hack the modified chase drone. Oh. Ah, there we go. Found it.
Let me see if I can remember this fucking startup procedure. That's the one problem that I've had with buying so many of these DCS high fidelity modules. Is they're all so complicated that there's no way in shit I can remember how to use all of them.
Yeah, I feel that.
So I just bought like 3 of them: the F-16, the Harrier, and obviously the A-10.
Right then,
But
there's no time to chit-chat.
I've only really played the A10 because I just know that if I start playing the other ones, I'll need to completely relearn how to use that thing. And in the meanwhile, I'll forget how to use any of the
This
others.
drone has been modified.
So I'm really just going to
slightly
play the
faster
one
with
I want
better
to make the
armor, and its
video
maximum
of,
altitude is restricted. Also,
and then
Albion is using
move on to
CDOS
another
to monitor
project.
the borough. They could shut it down if you fly too
Because
high.
I've talked to a
Time
lot of
buzz the
DCS
streets.
players, and they kind of all say the same thing. You can really only play 2 of them, and then 3 of them if you've got a little bit more time on your hands. There are people obviously that they basically play all of them.
Shot, you've got Albion
Ow.
rockets heading your
Most of
way.
the time, those are actual like real life pilots, so they probably know this shit by heart. And I sure as shit am not a real life pilot. The cool as shit if I was, you know.
Just like the other guy who just has the pilot's license.
I mean, fucking hell. I mean, it kind of broke my heart the moment he ripped out his pilot's license, because ever since I was a kid, being a pilot was basically like my one goal. If I had anything on my bucket list, it was basically like the tippy top, become a pilot of any sort. I just want to fucking fly. But obviously, becoming a pilot in today's modern world is probably one of the most difficult jobs to get
This
into.
drone has been modified.
Like you at
Slightly
least
faster with
you at
better
least
armor, and its
need a
maximum
university
altitude
level
is
degree
restricted. Also,
of any
Albion is
sort
using
to even be
CDOS
allowed
monitor the
to
borough. They
apply.
could shut it down if you fly
Because
too
they
high.
kind of
Time to buzz the streets.
expect their pilots to be like of a certain IQ level. So it doesn't matter which course you take on the university level, but you at least need to show that level of IQ. Which I say is a bit stupid, because IQ has nothing to do with the amount of money that you have, which is really the only thing that's going to get you into university in the Netherlands.
Yep.
So I kind of had to let go of that little dream really quickly. Like I think the moment I left elementary school and I was assigned to the Pharrell and level, I think it was Marvo, at least initially, that was the highest I could possibly get, and that was nowhere near enough. So I was like, yep, that's not happening. So if it was specifically for just time alone, like if I need to finish Marvo, then just like study for it to go to like a higher level and then higher level and then end up at university, I would have had enough time. But even then, I probably still wouldn't have had the money, because getting into university is the single most expensive thing that you can get. I like to complain about the debt I already have for the school I already go to, and my debt is quite severe by Dutch standards. It is. I think last time I checked, I've gone over 10k already. So that's a number that I kind of get depressed by. But there is a girl I know in England, and no, this time it's not Jersey, that actually goes to English university, and she is above 100k in debt.
Jesus.
Which is something that I can't even comprehend. And the one thing that it did is it made me feel really good about my lousy 10k. Holy fuck.
I'm still at 0 actually.
Yeah.
This is a setup. We got to watch
And the
ourselves
thing is
here.
that
Use our heads.
when it comes like study finances that you get, I kind of get scammed.
Now go on,
Because I'm supposed to get a lot, but I really don't get a lot. So I really have to live off of like my an actual loan. Because the thing is, it's calculated by the money that your parents earn. And my mother being you know, out of a job for the last 10 years, and I live with her, so that you'd expect, because she doesn't earn basically anything at all, that I should get more money. That doesn't work that way though, because my dad basically has a AAA job, and he earns so much that basically Duo told me that yeah, we're not gonna give you anything because your dad earns so much money. The problem is that my dad doesn't help me with my finances and school at all. I don't get a single dollar from that man. So I'm basically completely fucked.
Yeah.
And then Duo once said that, listen, all you need to do is go to your dad, have him fill out this contract where he states that he's not giving you any money, and then legally we can make sure that you're gonna get the money anyway, because your dad's officially like denied that he's helping you with your finances. So I was like, shit, yay, that's the solution. And then my dad actually refuses to fill in that form.
This old
Great.
bird still has some luck in her.
Because he
And so
doesn't
does
want to be
this
known as the kind of
neighborhood,
dad
thanks
that
to
doesn't
you.
support his son.
Bless up.
And then I'm
We're
looking
gonna
at him
take
like,
out
but you
our
don't.
men and we're gonna do it together.
Yeah,
Well
what?
said.
You actually
Goodbye,
don't.
dear, and stay
Well
Motherfucker.
done.
So yeah, I have to live off of a loan, which I have to admit I did abuse quite often.
Sounds like Hackney and Islington are ready
Like
to
there
rise
have
up
been a
with
couple of months where I definitely loaned a lot more money than I needed, just because that's not really a reason. I just wanted to do it.
Yes, I start with that next school year.
Yeah.
And I'll only
Go.
have it for 2 school years.
Yeah, if you only have it for 2 school years, don't you don't have anything to worry about. I think there's a couple of like rules for this. It kind of differs from time to time because they change it. The first thing I heard is that I think right now, if you're done with school, they give you like 3 years to get your job and to build up your own income, and you get your own house and everything. You don't have to worry about paying off the debt. After those 3 years are over, by that time you probably will have secured a decent job. You will have probably gotten everything in order. And after those 3 years, you get 10 years to pay back the actual debt, which is more than enough. So I'm not actually too worried about the 10k debt. If I had like 100k debt, then I'd be worried.
Yes,
I'm still kind of worried, obviously, but not that bad.
I'm going to be getting 400 a month, just like right now.
Yeah.
That's like what
I'm
we're...
getting about 500, and about 500 of that is my loan.
Wagwan.
Well done.
Yo, Wagwan.
Yeah.
You're dead sick, innit?
If
Yeah,
my
I can
study
tell.
finances
You got that hard
alone,
work, yeah?
that
Big ups
is
for
like
beating
a
Albion's
whole
arse all over the ends.
70
big
bucks.
Them Albion
That's
pagans
it.
are the reason a lot of these
That's
people
all I'm
are-
getting.
Do you know what I mean? No jobs, no
And this
flat
is for
living.
someone that
And worse,
basically,
Albion's been hoarding
I don't
supplies,
live on my own,
food,
but I have to
toilet paper,
spend
whatever's
so
left
much
for
money
shelves
for
and
my
kitchen.
own food that
Yeah,
I might
foul
as well
play.
live on my own.
Time to steal back from them bandoolies. Tell
And
us
on top of
where
that,
they're and we'll tease back
every
those
like bill
supplies.
for school, that's
Allow that,
mine.
cuz.
And everything I
It's
need
not
to
what
get
I'm
for
about.
school, that's
We need
mine.
this
I
for
basically buy
ourselves,
everything
you get me?
myself
Get our hands dirty.
with those
Show
70
us
bucks
that.
a month. That's
But I might
apparently
need some
supposed to be
help
enough
keeping
when
the Albion
as far as
from
Duo
bashing
and my
heads,
dad
get
is
me?
concerned.
A distraction like. Got some fast wheels you can use.
And then
you
the worst thing is then when I
blaze
start
around the bar,
complaining about
while
my
we
dad
pull the
to my
job.
dad, he's like,
You in?
yeah, but
This'll be
you
bare
should have
fun.
used a loan. I'm like, I didn't want to have used a loan, but you're the one that made me do this. Like, you don't get to complain about that at all, sir. So yeah, that kind of pisses me off from time to time.
I feel that. Oh my!
Position. You primed? Kick it. Fight the power. Albion mercs out of the hamlet.
Is that a race?
Faster you blaze through the borough.
And that is part of
Slow down and Albion will come.
one of the burrows.
Do what you got to
Yeah,
do.
I think I've seen the icon, but you get like a getaway driver for that thing. Kind of makes sense that you get a racing type of mission. I like that. Yeah, the burrow missions, they're really the most interesting I've found.
Come on, I need this one and then just one more area after this.
Another lorry full. Keep going. We're gonna clean out this place.
Every Albion soldier in the borough is after you. Let's give them a shove, shall we?
I need 50 more. 14. Honestly, I'm glad I got into this game.
Yeah.
We have a visual on the suspect.
Especially like so early on. Because I'm actually enjoying it. It's something else than Sword of Time, which is what I've been doing for most of the time.
Yeah, no, that's definitely what I liked about this game. It's different. Even like from different Ubisoft titles, it feels unique. Which is kind of cool because you know, Ubisoft games, they kind of have to, kind of always kind of samey. It's always kind of the same type of deal. You've got your open world, you've got your different things to do around the open world, and on top of that you've got your main missions. But because the open world is so sandboxy, it kind of feels fresh. You can kind of just walk around the city and then scan people, see what they're like. They all have their own name, they have their own schedule.
And that's another area I've
This is
just
something
taken
that,
over.
like, Bethesda games could take note of how to do NPCs.
One of many, one of you. Yes! Tower Hamlet is now officially mine.
Oh, you can actually see the Belfast on the river there.
Where? Oh, here on the left, so like the Thames.
On like the bridge, yeah. The first bridge that you saw.
Oh, that was brilliant.
It's like, I think the Belfast is part of the borough that's right underneath the borough you just took.
This is gonna get everyone in the ends on board, you know.
And I've already been like around the ship, and you can kind of easily see that it's been modeled in a way that you can walk around and all over
I
it.
hear what you're saying, cuz.
I'm pretty sure it's going to be used in the mission at some point.
Probably, yeah.
And I've had like a whole like drive around with like a little speedboat, and it kind of looks. It looks. I mean, you can obviously tell that it's not like an amazing like recreation, but it's close enough to make me say, yeah, that's the Belfast. You can kind of recognize it.
Let me very quickly grab a. Okay, there we go. Where are you?
Probably get like a worker drone and just fly over.
Yeah, why do you think I'm switching to Bart Gordon? He is literally the one that he can just call them wherever the fuck I am.
Barty boy.
Alright, Bart, you're up.
Yeah, man.
There we go. So, how I just selected it is just simple. Like, there is this tech point on top of it, which is exactly what I'm going to use to get to it.
Yeah.
Makes for an easy way to see where the fuck it actually is.
I mean, it's kind of an obvious thing to see, but
Well, yeah, but like,
the tech point definitely does help.
yeah. Besides, I like my tech points.
Yeah. The thing is that when I've looked around the ship, obviously, because this is not in any way it's supposed to be like an accurate, true to life representation, but because I know the ship by heart, I kind of started looking around for those small little details. And to my surprise, there are quite a bit of those small little details that they managed to put in, which is really nice.
I like the fact that they used London for the second time in one of the franchises.
Yeah, because in that you get to see it like in like a different time period as well.
Alright, that's the tech point. That's.
But one of the main details that I love that they went for is when you look at like the primary guns of the ship, like the two ones at the top and the bottom.
These two or?
No, the ones at the front and the back.
Yeah.
One detail for the Belfast that someone had to point out to me initially is that you see those 3 barrels on each turret, right?
Yeah.
On the real life ship and in World of Warships and War Thunder as well, the middle one of those barrels is actually more regressed into the turret more than the outer two. You'll notice that it's a little bit further back in order to recreate more space in the turret. Now,
this one has it as well, from what I can see.
Yeah, I didn't expect them to actually do that in Watch Dogs as well, because I don't think anyone in Watch Dogs would really notice or care. But the fact that they actually went and did it anyway, that's the shit I like.
I haven't seen any enemy around here, nor anything else other than the tech point.
Yeah, I was surprised by that as well. I walked up, flew my cargo drone around, got my speedboat, drove that around, and I saw no one. I was kind of expecting it to be like a red "don't walk here" zone, but it's not. But you can kind of see that there's enough shit around that, yeah, it's going to be used by something at some point.
Well, yeah, either a main mission or a side mission, indeed.
Yeah, maybe like the Burrow Liberation mission is using it as well or something.
No, Burrow Liberation, what I've just saw, didn't do it.
No, but I mean the one of which the Burrow which is actually in. Because I don't think it's in the one that you just liberated. I think it's right on the outskirts of the one that's underneath it.
Yeah, Southwark. I'm trying to remember what this one was. Fuck, what was it again? It was the Anarchist. I think you were there when I was playing with the drone in an underground compound, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I think that was Southwark. That was just before I started playing the other game today.
Okay.
So yeah, no, that's
main mission then maybe, or just like a randomized side mission maybe.
Well, no.
I'm just pretty sure that it's at some point something's gonna use it.
Well, yeah, no, that much I'm sure about as well. There we go. I've armed the trap.
Such a dick.
Holy shit, I'm finally getting the startup procedure right.
Fuck you, adversary! Woo! Oh, but if you kill an adversary, you actually get 250 extra in money.
Nice. Yeah, I made the mistake of recruiting an NPC that likes to randomly buy things. So every time I earn anything, it gets fucked off on like some stupid little trousers.
You can dismiss people if I'm correct as well.
Yeah. I think I might have to, because I started playing today with like 4,000-ish money, and then I stopped playing with like 2,000 without buying a single thing. Which is a bit annoying.
Alright, unblock the next thing.
Let's turn that thing on.
I like how the enemy that I need to destroy here is a turret. Or,
Oh, a drone, yeah. Yeah, this is what I mean. I found one of those drones. And, oh, by the way, if you want to kill those things, wait until, like, the little latches are open. Like, you see the little orange latches underneath? When those are open, shoot those things, and that's when you actually damage it.
okay.
When it's fully closed and armored up, yeah, it's gonna take fucking forever to kill it.
Oh.
But I just found one of those things just flying around the city, and not around the city, it was in like just one of those red zones, and I was scampering for some tech points, killed it, and then that was enough to help me liberate the borough. Apparently those things are like high value targets.
You know that for liberating a barrow, you need to do the missions, right? Photograph evidence.
I think I just scampered into it.
Yeah, no, like that. It will show up as well, like that it is the enemy.
Well, I would have noticed like the red icon on the map, so I don't know. It is still a Ubisoft game anyway, so I'm expecting there to have been a few bugs that I just didn't notice. This is kind of the Ubisoft guarantee.
True, true. I need to get even.
There we go. I think that's it. I think this thing is all set.
There's like a drone right under me. It's like the drone that I need is like literally right under me. Right, on top of the main building should be my tech point. There we go, that's tech points. Let me instantly spend them because that's something that I haven't done in quite some time. Here, I've got like 50 tech points. Ah, there we go. This is what I needed.
I've got a bit too much tech points as well. I still need to really look at what to get, because I just got so comfortable with the skills that I have that I really didn't see much use in getting other ones.
Well, drone hacks, turret hacks, you can just turn them off with that and such.
Yeah, I think those might be like little convenient things.
Attention. This area will be used
I just turned the fucker off.
Well, good night. That's like the big scary drones. That's always a nice one to turn off.
It's a counter-terrorism drone.
Yeah, the CT one. I think it might be difficult to kill, obviously, because you've got to deactivate it. It's not going to open up its weak spots. That's kind of the problem here.
Ah, fuck.
You kind of changed yourself there.
No, I haven't.
But then again, if you're ever like in a difficult situation, you can kind of just shut it off and forget about it for at least a while and deal with all the other enemies.
Yeah, what do you think of this as a plan?
Yeah, just drop a fucking nuke on it, that's fine.
There.
That'll do.
Job done.
Yeah, that'll get the job done. Literally.
Photographic evidence and sabotage.
was assigned to an Albion detention center somewhere in the borough. According to what I could pass, it was used to interrogate high-value local insurgents. This is one
Whee!
less weapon in their arsenal.
And thank you for the card. Literally, the icon is still on my fucking map. Oi! I was turning here! Absolute nothing.
Even starting to sound British now.
Yeah, absolute sweat!
Absolute cunt.
And I need to go down here. Right, I'm at my target.
We're looking for guns. Holy shit, I've finally done it. Took me a while. I finally managed to get to a state where I can turn this fucking thing on, activate the guns and navigate without having to use like a cheat sheet or look up a tutorial halfway because I got lost. I finally memorized this bullshit.
Yay.
Oh fucking hell! There's like 1,000,001 steps that you need to know, and then you've got like the in-game tutorials that the developers of the aircraft put in for you. Those are, if you really want to know everything about the aircraft, then those are really good. But if you don't want your brain to explode with a whole bunch of useless information, then yeah, go to YouTube. Holy fuck. Literally, like, the guys on YouTube are like, yeah, press this thing, press that thing in this order, and then you're good to go. And then in the game, you're like in this hour-long tutorial where they explain every single system, and they're like, so go to this little dial and make sure it has like 0.13% Fahrenheit, and then go to that one, and if that one doesn't match the first one, then you have to look at the 26th one, and if that one's not yellow, then go to the purple one to the left side and make sure that one is actually purple. Oh, and if it's a square, start again. Meanwhile, you could just press a single button and you're done.
Yeah.
Thanks, in-game tutorials, for wasting 2 hours of my life. Because the thing is that all of this information, the checks that you need to do before you go into the air, that's something that actual pilots would do. Because in actual airplanes, this kind of shit would matter. But in the game, the airplane is modeled in a way that every time it loads into a mission, it is always going to be under the same parameters. So every single dial is always going to be the same thing at the start of every mission. So you really don't need to check. You know it's good. So you're just wasting time. You're just wasting time checking dials that you already know are going to be in the right position. But obviously the in-game tutorial, they make you check all that shit anyway, but it really doesn't matter. It's literally a waste of time. I mean, it's cool that they implement it because it is like the most realistic way to learn how to be an actual pilot, because actual pilots do have to do this shit.
Yes, I got it. Fuck my life.
But you also still just wanna fly a plane and relax.
Yeah.
Which is also kind of why I like the A10, because it's such a fucking ridiculously easy plane to fly. Because obviously you've got things like the F-14, the F-18, which are like these carrier-based aircraft, which already makes it quite difficult because, well, taking off is easy, but landing on a carrier is a bit of a hassle.
Yeah.
Everything involved is a bit of a hassle. You're talking about very quick, very maneuverable things, and you just have to keep your focus on whenever you're doing anything. The A10 is the exact opposite. You don't have to worry about the carrier because you can't land on a carrier anyway. You're big, you're kind of slow, so you maneuver really easily because it has a lot of fancy technology that basically keeps the aircraft stable no matter what you're doing. The F-14 has none of that, which is funny enough the airplane that we're gonna fly, which is nice. At least in the story anyway. It depends on obviously the sales and when we actually do this in the game ourselves. But what the F-14 basically doesn't have is a thing called fly-by-wire. Now, I'll save you the actual definition of it, but in theory, a fly-by-wire is like a piece of machinery that reads the inputs on your control stick and then calculates how the plane should do it. So it's basically stabilizing the plane to maneuver the way you want it to, but without you having actual direct control. You're basically telling the airplane what to do, and it'll make the turn for you. What the F-14 basically doesn't have this shit, so when you're pulling the stick, it's attached to like a fucking mechanism that'll, turn the wings over. There's no computer involved at all, so you can get some crazy maneuvers off, but what you'll have is that there is a reason that this shit was invented. If you go full speed on the F-14 and you yank the stick to the right, you'll literally tear off your wings. Like, they'll fucking fly off. They're not built
Oh my.
to withstand that power.
Look at this place.
That's fancy looking shit. But so obviously I've killed myself doing this quite a bit of times. You get used to it eventually, so I know exactly how far I can push the stick without killing myself. But learning to fly that thing first in its stupidly difficult flight model, you have to keep focusing. You have to communicate to fucking gesture behind you as well with this really annoying menu. It's such a difficult thing to fly. You have to literally fight the airplane while you're flying it to make sure it doesn't implode on you. And then you need to actually make sure you get to where you need to be, and make sure that your weapons are ready, which is kind of a finicky thing to do, because the co-pilot needs to do that, because you've got the AI co-pilot, it's a bit difficult because the menu isn't exactly nice. On top of that, you still need to land the aircraft when you're ready and try not to die, because it's just such a difficult plane to fly compared to this thing, which is slow, it's stable, it carries a lot of weapons, you can activate them at the press of a button, you don't need to worry about fucking anything, and you look cool while doing it. Yeah, that's a much nicer experience. And the thing is that, at least with these airplanes, the F-16 is even worse, but you can just yank the stick from left to right just 5 times in 10 seconds. That thing is never going to tear apart. That thing has that fly-by-wire system where if you yank the stick to the right, the plane will turn, but it'll always know exactly what its limits are. So it'll basically stabilize itself. So you can yank the stick up, left, right without thinking, which is really nice. Because every time I fly the F-14 and I go back into another airplane, I'm like, wow, shit, this shit is easy. What the fuck? But that's just because the F-14 is such a difficult thing to fly. It's just kind of why I like it. But also kind of why I sometimes really don't want to fly it. Because holy fuck, I need to relax. And that thing is definitely not built for relaxation. That's the last thing that the developers had in mind, I think.
Rip. Well, I got what I came here for.
Another, I mean, this is another reason why I like the A10, but this is also the reason why pretty much everyone that knows about the A10 likes the A10. It's the big gun in the front of the nose. There's been situations where aircraft or other tanks or whatever, they're designed around the weapon that they're gonna use. Nothing is more true than the A10. This is literally an example. This is not a plane with a gun. This is a gun with a bit of plane attached to it. This motherfucker is so big, it takes up half the aircraft. Literally.
Well done.
The bullets it fires are slightly smaller than a Coca-Cola bottle.
Well done.
100 per second. You can fuck someone's day up with this bullshit. There's
Holy shit.
Such a meme out of it, because it's kind of ridiculous. Speaking of ridiculous, the scooter you're driving is ridiculous.
That was just the first vehicle I found, okay?
Yeah. But basically what you're firing...
It's you, isn't it?
it's basically like a little mix. You've got different like ammunition types, but you really only use one of them, which is basically everything combined. You've got armor piercing shells, fragmentation shells, and HE shells. Oh yeah, and also incendiary shells, all combined into one. You're shooting about 100 of these per second, so it doesn't really matter. If you're shooting at a tank, they're still going to be hit by about 30 of those AP shells. If you're shooting at guys, they're still going to get hit by about 25 of those incendiary shells anyway. You're just shooting everything at everything. It's really easy. And these things explode so much that an actual A10 pilot said this, that when you see these shit, when you're being hit by the A10, you can kind of picture 25 grenades being shot at you in 1 second. That's kind of the experience here. So you really don't want to be at the receiving end of this cannon. This shit is so ridiculous that there's like a stabilization feature built into this plane, which you have to use, because otherwise if you fire the cannon, the plane will actually pivot upwards because it just can't handle the recoil of this cannon. You actually lose control of the airplane if you continue to fire it without using the stabilization, which is crazy. There's been clips of actual A10s where the safety failed their firing and their entire nose snaps in half because the recoil of the gun just vibrates the aircraft to death, which is fucking stupid. I mean, you're talking about a gun that can basically shred the main tank in half. And the tanks are kind of known for having a lot of armor. So if you've got a gun that can basically cut through that like a lightsaber, and you're talking about a pretty impressive gun. A pretty terrifying gun, actually. But it's definitely a nice tool to play around with. If you really, really, really want something to die. One thing I really don't like is it has autopilot, just like pretty much every single plane, even the Tomcat has it. But this one just so happens to get like whenever you activate it, you get like a little beep. But this little beep literally sounds like a phone ringtone. So every time I hit the fucking autopilot, I think I'm getting a text message.
Whip.
It's such like an old like Nokia type of beep that you get me like, what the fuck? What kind of notification am I getting? Because not obviously on your phone, even if you like put in like a little custom ringtone, pretty much every single app in history has their own ringtone anyway. So yours are always going to be overridden, which is fucking stupid. Like I entered this one ringtone, I want to get it, goddammit. So you end up getting a random ones.
I need to you and then you.
We're all clear over here. All good. I'll try somewhere else. Nothing here. We're all clear over here. Damn it! Who's that?
I never really thought about this, but on most airplanes that are like in the game, you kind of have to look and see if you can find the main gun. It's always kind of hidden in like this little aerodynamic little small little like a hatch or like a little nook. They want to keep it small, obviously, because otherwise if it's really big and bulky and it pokes out, it's gonna create a lot of drag, wind resistance and some shit. So it's always like the smallest little nook on the aircraft. But then when you look at the A10, there's just this giant fucking minigun poking out the nose, like it's not subtle at all. You're like, hi, I'm a flying tank, how are you? Yeah, I don't care about going fast, it's fine. Which is, by the way, another thing like only fighter pilots I think can say, is that when you only go about 500 kilometers per hour, that's slow. That's considered slow. You're only going about 500. That's nothing. which is kind of insane because it really is nothing. It sounds like it's quick, and it is fucking quick, but in fighter plane terminology, it's still really slow. Because there are planes in the game that go well over 1,000 kilometers per hour, easily. The A10 is the slowest jet in the game, which is both a benefit and a curse. Because one, it's more relaxing to fly, because you kind of get more downtime. Like this, you've got more flight time when you can just put your autopilot on and just relax, kick back your feet. And also, and this is a more technological benefit, you've got those big Mickey Mouse ears behind you, like the turbine engines. And these things, they don't actually have like an afterburner, which is basically when the big flame pokes out of the engine. That's the afterburner. Now the A10 doesn't have that. It doesn't have it at all. Which means that the engines themselves, they don't create much heat. Which means that heat-seeking missiles, they've got a bit of a problem locking onto the A10. So you don't really have to worry about it getting locked on as much as any other plane, which is nice.
Yeah, no, I feel that.
It is a big benefit.
The abandoned power plant.
Ooh, power plant.
Last area. A very last area. Which is also why this video itself is already 1 hour and 20 minutes. Because I'm trying to cram in these last 3 bursts in just one little video.
Yeah,
it's working.
No kidding.
Someone stashed a news drone here. You could use that to help you navigate the power plant.
Once you're done with the current recording, and I'll just turn my screen share on and see I can show you what I'm dealing with here.
Sure. Should be right after this mission.
Yeah. 'Cause at least this time it'll be kind of quick, because now I know what the procedure is like. Oh, and another cute little detail, and when I heard about this is why I decided to immediately buy myself the A10 when I heard about this. Apparently, and I've actually seen footage and interviews of this happening and actually being a real thing. Some time ago, when the original A10 module, like the not the low fidelity module, but the one that came after, like the previous high fidelity module of the A10, that thing was so realistic that the actual US military came forward and basically came to the developers, and they were like, hey, listen, we appreciate your work and effort, but there's some part of technology in the aircraft that's basically still secret. We want you to remove it. Now, the developers did this and apologized to the community, like, hey, listen, this was a secret. The government, the US military doesn't want this to be out there, so we're removing it, which is fine. As far as excuses go for removing gameplay, this is probably the best one that they could have gotten.
Honestly, this is something that I'm okay with, because, like, this is not something that you...
I definitely understand this, right? I don't blame the developers for removing it, and I also don't blame the military for stepping in, intervening. This is important shit, I get it. But what came after is the most interesting thing I've heard in my entire life. So, basically... the developers complied to the US military, basically saying, hey, listen, we want you to remove this. And a couple of weeks later, the US military came to them again, and they were like, hey, listen, we want you to add this and make a special version for us. We're the only ones allowed to have that version with that technology. And the US military is actually still, to this day, using that copy of DCS with the A10 to train actual A10 pilots.
Well then.
Which is fucking insane.
That is amazing.
Like, when I heard that, like, oh my god, actual pilots are using this module to train. So it is so realistic that they're actually using it.
Right under our noses?
I immediately bought it. Like, oh my god, I need. So that's when you know that you've got a really true to life experience. Like, this is as real as you're gonna get. Obviously not as real, because people are missing those few things that the military does have. But hey, that's fine. This is literally the closest thing I could probably get. And there are other modules as well, which I've seen videos of two, like actual fighter pilots play as. And one of these guys, I think this was with the Hornets, actually said that DCS was a better simulator than they actually have in the Navy. And then obviously, because the Navy and the Air Force are two separate entities within the military, so they're using different simulators. So obviously, the actual Air Force they now use DCS, but the Navy they haven't made that change yet. But I feel like they're going to at some point, because I mean half of the military is already doing it,
Jesus.
which is fucking insane.
I need to every time move this fucking drone.
Yeah, it's a bit annoying.
Yeah, because it's the only...
I wish you could have like an option where it could kind of just trail around you. It could just kind of just follow you. Not like it's like a Skyrim or Fallout as follower. It's just joins you on your journey.
Yeah, you need to light... Because of the light, you need to actually put it like in such a specific way. Which is also why I get that you have to move it yourself.
Yeah, obviously, but because you kind of you need the light to be pointing at where you're going. So I get it, but every time you need to move somewhere else, you need to move the fucking drone. So it's not very efficient.
Oh, okay. So now we're doing this, eh?
Oh yes, the wire game.
Something that also also exists in the original Watch Dogs.
Yeah, it's been a while since I played the original Watch Dogs, but I'm pretty sure that the original had like more of these hacking type of minigames, like different versions of it.
Yeah, no, that's correct.
That's what I'm kind of missing here. Like this, the missions need a bit more variety, in my opinion. I mean, it's already pretty nice, but it feels like it's kind of repetitive-ish. I also kind of hope that there would be like more different like skills or text to get, because it's really not an awful lot. But oh well, I've got faith that this stuff is probably going to get added later on.
Probably,
Then,
yeah.
You know how Ubisoft has kind of been just like EA pushing the games as a service agenda. They try to do so heavily with Odyssey. And obviously, that the main reason that they're doing this is obviously to sell endless microtransactions. That's kind of the whole catch. But the benefit of that is that they're also pushing out actual like updates and normal patches on top of it.
Let's just get them out. They've suffered enough, don't you think?
The control console will open all the cells and turn on the lights. That should allow the detainees to escape.
Oh, okay. So if we use the drone to get to the main console, we can literally do everything in one go.
That'll help. That'll definitely make it more efficient.
Yeah, no, we turn on A turn on the lights and B.
Oh, hold on, let me see if I can get a picture of this. I totally forgot, but obviously when it hit 12, my family came up to me and were like, "Hey, congratulations! Come downstairs. I will show you something nice." So I came downstairs, and I already had my birthday present from them. We got this new kitten, and obviously she was my birthday present. So I didn't expect anything. But when I came downstairs, they actually had kind of decorated the room a bit, and they actually decorated the kitten.
Wow!
Kept walking around with like happy birthday decorations and like fucking balloons attached to her ass. Like, oh my fucking god, what the fuck? I kind of joked about this earlier today. Like you do have to wrap up the cat so I can unpack her. It's supposed to be a gift. Didn't think that they'd go this far.
But we did it! I have the entirety of London under my control.
I own London now. You thought Albion was awful? You thought Albion didn't give a fuck about you? Well, you've seen nothing yet.
Here's Riddle!
I really don't give a fuck about any of you.
That'll put the entire borough on notice. The first-hand accounts from the people who were in there will certainly fire up Nine Elms. Job well done.
Welp. Look at this, Duncan.
The entire city.
All
Nice.
mine. I'm proud.
I like that you basically got the drone expert, which is basically you, isn't it?
I mean, I made sure to get like a drone expert. Drone expert. Let me team.
I think it's the one next to here. I don't know.
Oh wow! Got a getaway driver, a football hooligan, and I got a professional hitman. Look at this.
Yeah, the hitman looks kind of cool. I mean, I hate the stupid face, but the outfit's kind of nice. Skills look pretty cool as well.
Let's switch over to him. Gunwoo Pack.
I'm happy another person has woken up and wants to do the right thing.
Oh, yes. I'm ready, willing, and able to serve.
Fantastic.
Well, I got myself my new gunner. Oh wow, look at this thing.
Shit, that's a fancy looking fucking crane.
It's
That's cool looking.
It's 9 elms, a little bit on the top left.
Oh, I have to go take a look on that. So I'm pretty sure that's
It's not an actual crane, but
it's like a statue looking thing that's supposed to resemble a crane.
you know, there's two. There's two literally right next to each other.
Oh, yeah.
This has seen better days.
Well, it do look pretty cool.
They've done a good job on them.
Like they're kind of like simplistic, but it's kind of why I like them.
Yeah.
Tacky looking cranes.
But yeah, no, that tech, aka Riddle, owns everything. I own everything. I own all of you. Oh my.
You work for me now.
But well.
Oh yeah, let's see if the information lights actually work. What's on in this thing? God damn it.
So do you know what time it is?
No.
Let the revolution start again. The Industrial Revolution.
No.
What?
You're basically just becoming a Templar, aren't you?
Maybe.
Yeah, you are.
The Industrial Revolution. Now we're going to build factories everywhere. We're going to have child laborers. We're going to practically create Assassin's Creed Syndicate within the future.
I mean, we don't use the word child labor. We use the words very young interns.
Yeah, no, true. But well then, we've made it happen.